Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to Train World TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW Text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget, you can shop online at trainworld.com for all your model train needs. Now, without further ado, enjoy today's video. All right, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Train World TV. We have another special edition tonight, and it's the Pico event, and we're going to cover two scales, HO and G scale. And as many of you HO scale people out there know, Pico has been dabbling into the HO market big time for the American market, because they do European market big time. But HOKMs have kind of broken the internet because everybody has been going crazy over these things. Just gorgeous looking engines. And we'll go over these, and also tons of G scale announcements. We give these in all our orders, the autumn new items for G scale, and Pico makes tons of American items for everybody out there. And there's some brochure and flyers out there. So lots to talk about, lots to cover. We have Tony Cook from Model Railroad News, Model Train Resource. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Tony.
I'm doing good, Ken. I'm excited by this. Yeah, that Krauss-Maffei, I think I'm going to say conservatively, it is the model of the year in HO. I mean, yeah. I've had more comments on it. The Rio Grande is out now. I mean, wow, major wow.
We'll hear more about it tonight. And the man of the hour, well, two men over there. We only see one, but Jonathan Metter from Pico America. How you doing, John?
Just great. Howdy. Right. And yes, we do have a special guest. It's the delivery boy again.
Do we need a drum roll or? All right. And Dr. Rene Wilfer. How you doing, Rene?
Hi, Tony.
How you doing?
And I just came in from Germany and have a special present for him. I brought with me, and guess what it is?
It's going to be some kind of food, I bet. I think it was licorice last time.
It's what is this in
licorice?
English?
Black licorice.
I know.
He loves this.
Black licorice, fresh from
yes.
So terrible, but it's your present.
All right, I'm happy.
Right, I thought you were going to tell us you brought Jonathan as the surprise, and everyone would have been really excited for that one.
Sorry, there's not enough to share, but oh well.
All right.
Only one package.
All right. Licorice sounds good, though. And Stefan says, greetings from Germany, Rene. So you got a following all over the world.
Okay. He can testify that black licorice is good stuff.
That's right. That's right. So very nice. So, Rene, it's always great to have you on. And for those who don't know Dr. Rene Wilfer, Pico is actually his baby. And he is the CEO, president of Pico.
and they have done many incredible things, and in the European market and American market. Rene, do you want to speak a little bit about yourself and maybe about your company for those who are just joining us and who haven't seen you live before?
Yeah, okay, I can tell you a little bit. So Pico is a company which has this year the 75th anniversary. So it's a pretty old company. I bought the company in 1992, and at that time, the HO range was pretty down, and we made, beside the trains, a lot of toy products, but the toys we finished after 5 to 10 years, and then we concentrated only on the HO line at the beginning, and I think we transferred a lot of old products into new products, and since 1992 we only concentrating on HO, and then we opened up in 2007 or 2008. We opened up a own company in China to make the products there. And I think a couple of years before 2006 or 5, we started with G-Scale.
With track, yes, with track and the first locomotive.
The first locomotive, 2007, the first locomotive in G-Scale was at that time the Taurus. The Taurus,
yeah.
Big
then we added more and more.
Amtrak was the first American road name, right? Amtrak Taurus.
Complete track program, a complete G-Scale program with cars and locos. And don't forget our buildings. From the beginning on, since 1992, we're making buildings for the garden train market, and I think we are pretty successful and pretty knowledgeable in this area. And okay, beside the G-Scale, the big area or the big market for us is in Europe, the HO market. And also we make TT. Not many people know this, what that is. This is a scale of 120, and also N scale. But HO is the biggest market for us. And we are very successful in the last 10, 15, 20 years now, because we added a new line, the Pico Expert line. And this has a lot of details. This has very good functions. And together with the digital function, we have a lot of things to control with the locomotives. And you will talk later on with about this American locomotive, the SM4000 or XM. A lot of people, they have all different names for it. But this is a wonderful model and terrible to produce. So many details on so many fine things. And I think this is a typical example about the quality which Pico is doing. And we are in Europe or in Germany, we are, I think, next to 2 other competitors, we are number 3 on the market, and we do pretty well there, and we are very successful, and we are always happy to make new models for our model train fans. And also in this country, we started last year or 2 years ago, really, we started to develop this model, and we came out at the end of last year. In December, we came out with the Southern Pacific, and this year we added the Rio Grande, and you will have later on, I think, a lot of time to talk a little bit more about this really great model. So if you have some more questions, maybe one more question: how many people Pico is employing? We have in Germany, we have about 180 people, and in Germany, all the garden railway stuff. And the other models are made in our factory in China, where I have around between 400 and 500, depending how many each time of the year and how much we have to do. So this is roughly
unbelievable.
A little background about Pico.
Wow.
And I'm very happy to be here and on your channel. And it's always great, Ken, to meet you guys. And I'm very happy to see this.
That's great, and we appreciate it. And can you tell us a little something about your big events that you throw at your companies? Because I've been trying to come out, and a lot of times in I believe the summertime you host these big events, and they don't have these in America. And I just find it unbelievable. You know, your company does such a great job embracing the fans out there, and you get them to go to your headquarters, correct?
Yeah. So sometimes people say, "Oh, model train market is shrinking, and you do not have enough people." And we have every 2 years we have an open house. And this year we have, I think it was June
22nd.
June 22nd, we had again an open house at the factory in Sonneberg in Germany. And we invited all our Pico fans, and you will not believe, but in one day there were coming around 14 to 15,000 fans to visit our company. It was such a great event, and everybody, and this is good for me, everybody was so happy to come after 2 years again, and they were excited. And we have good weather, which is also important. And the people were looking at the production to see how our products are made. They could buy a lot of things there, and the families just had fun. And this is the nicest thing for me, that if you see all these shining eyes, all the happy faces, and the kids are playing with the model trains, it's a great thing. And it tells you that we have a good future, all of us who are in the model train market.
Yes,
absolutely.
And you could see the excitement that you love these events, and it really must be unbelievable to see. I think Tony, we should probably take a plane ride there the next time, and we should do a
that would be awesome.
Live event and some write-ups just to get some of the reactions of the people there. It just sounds incredible.
Absolutely.
It is really good to see something like this. Then you really believe in the model trains again. If you see all the families with the young children, and the kids have fun with the model trains playing there, it's a great feeling. I always appreciate that very, very much.
That's unbelievable, and that's something the America and the States here doesn't really have. So to hear about these stories and events is just unbelievable. And you're saying like 14 to 15,000 people is just remarkable. That's probably bigger than all the train shows in America. It's just
this is only in one day.
Wow.
They stay in front. We open up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or 9 o'clock, and they are standing in front of our factory door for about 2 hours to come in as the first guys in the factory. It's amazing.
That's like the American Black Friday, where people camp out of Best Buy to wait for all the deals. They camp out of Pico headquarters just to be the first ones at Pico doors. That's unbelievable.
It's always nice. But if somebody is interested on our homepage, there are always pictures about the open house. And so under
Pico.de, or it's also on Pico America's YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you see some movies also of our open house, and it's really fun to see this.
That's great. One of these days we got to get down there. But anyone out there, if you're an American and you're in the area, look up on Pico's website. They do these events. Is it biannual or every so often?
Biannual.
You've got a year and a half to plan.
Yes. So in a year and a half, make sure you book that ticket, and you could be a part of where the magic happens, and it's really incredible. It sounds like Disneyland, going to Disneyland for the day with the family.
That is almost as worse as Disneyland, yes.
and it's probably more affordable as well.
Absolutely. No ripping off.
But very neat. And again, the numbers of how many people you employ is just incredible. So Pico, even though it's on the American market, it's G scale and starting to dabble more in HO scale, they are a huge company. So feel comfortable and get used to their name, because they are going to make some incredible things both in G scale, HO, even N scale, and you see it in the craftsmanship. So Rene, if you want to bring up anything else, if not, we could start talking about these beautiful KMs, because
please start. and have a good show now. And I will go next door and.
Well, Rene, thank you very much for being on tonight, telling us about your company. We really appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we really appreciate it, especially because you're probably jet lagged and exhausted right now. So we do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much to give me the time to present a little bit about Pico. Then have fun and have a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
You know, Kenny said that was a terrible model to make, but that is good for us. It's good for you because, yeah, I'm sure it was. It is one of the most detailed. All the lighting functions. I mean, the interior detail. Look in the portholes there, Ken. You can see the inside of the you know, they've cast a plastic piece there to look. I mean, it's amazing. The interiors in the cab. This is a beautiful, beautiful model. The Southern Pacific and the Rio Grandes are road accurate. Biggest spotting feature is that red light on the top of the nose there on the SP, and the Rio Grandes kind of got the traditional headlight bezel on it. But wow, these are just, I have not heard anything but raves and have never had so much feedback on a new locomotive, I think, in the 12 years I've been doing Model Railroad News. Everybody's like, wow, that's an amazing model.
And Tony, just the amount of details. I don't know if you have your magazine write-up that you did on these, but if we could share that as well. I'm not sure if you have that on file. If not, not a big deal.
I've got the Rio Grande review is coming. I'm trying to remember the Southern Pacific was on the cover.
Right.
And you can find all that at shop.whiteriverproductions.com. But boy, they're stunning pieces. I mean, I remember when Jonathan, he kind of spilled that ahead of the announcement because he knew I love these KMs. They were such odd pieces. And when he said, hey, we're going to make this, I think I called him immediately like, oh, no, don't start kidding around with me. You know, he's like, no, we really are.
And this is an actual American engine. Just really cool. Ran on the rails, unique. And John, how many detailed parts separately applied?
I think Rene was here maybe a year ago or so and complaining about the 89 metal detail parts.
Yes.
Wow.
In addition to all the other details. There are some videos on our YouTube channel showing a little bit of the production of some of these locos. We didn't get to video all of it, but just the little bits that are there give you an idea of the hundreds of, not just hundreds of parts, but hundreds of steps that go into assembling these models and producing them to make the finished model that you see. It doesn't just pop out of a mold. So, yeah.
You know, and it's an amazing prototype because, you know, these were early 1960s. They showed up. They came over from Germany. They were built by Krauss-Maffei. It's a diesel hydraulic, not the same as the diesel electrics or the electric locomotives that we know here in North America. So this was a design that Southern Pacific and Rio Grande talked themselves into trying. They wanted to see how this would work. And the diesel hydraulic has that direct drive transmission, almost like a car, rather than running electric traction motors. 4,000 horsepower, which at the time in the early 60s was a big leap forward. I mean, this really, the 1960s was the horsepower race. And this odd duck is the thing that really helped propel it. I mean, suddenly GE, Alco, EMD, it took them a handful of years, but bam, the horsepower, you know, race really took off for this. And yeah, they came over. I think I've got pictures of them in like HO Collector. And when we did the Model Railroad News review, I think it's Halloween of 1961 or 2, they arrive in Galveston at the Gulf and are sent up to the Rio Grande to be set up. And yeah, they're amazing pieces. They didn't last forever on the Rio Grande, but the SP took the Rio Grande units and theirs and ran them forever or through the 60s, and then bought more KMs of a slightly different variety. And I'm talking like crazy, Jonathan. I'm sorry to cut. But you know, this is one of my favorite locomotives. So I'm just, yeah.
Well, we actually did. Tony almost ran out of words in his review because he came down to the point where he said, usually on any new model, there's something I can critique and complain about. And I just can't, something like, I just can't think of anything to complain about with these models. So we appreciate that comment.
Beautiful engines.
There are
And
some differences. Not only there is a high level of detail, but those details are really solid. You're not going to open up the box and find a few parts that need to be glued back on. It's solid. You've been handling that thing, and Ken claims to be a little bit ham-fisted for HO, but I told him it's safe for you to handle, Ken, and
yeah,
for our customers as well.
yeah,
It's
me
really
too.
solidly built.
I'm the same way. And yeah, in addition, like to the review models you sent, I bought SPs and Rio Grandes from Train World. So I don't know how many I've been through. I bought one for my dad because he's a Rio Grande guy. He just got it recently. And yeah, I had not a single thing on any of these amiss as far as a loose part or anything. They all were just absolutely beautiful.
and especially inside the cab, just gorgeous.
That cool?
Really neat stuff, and the fans
And look at the
as well.
fan blades. The fan blades spin, Ken. That's one thing my dad was talking about, how cool he thought that was, that they've got the blades are loose in there and can spin.
Gorgeous. Really
And
neat.
if you're operating on digital, you can turn the lights on for the engine compartment, the engine room, and through the portholes you will see the detail of the Maybach diesel motors. You won't look in there and see an electric motor and a decoder. You'll see the real details of the real loco. So we worked all those details inside and out. I don't know if you showed the loco from the bottom, Ken, but the trucks, there's incredible, the brake rigging detail, the gearboxes, the hydraulic gearboxes. It's all there. So this is a model that's detailed all around, not just from one angle or not just from the side, but every angle you look at it, it's correct.
I love that base that you put it on, Jonathan, with the two. Show that, pull the SP one off the base, or if you got that plastic base, Ken, it's always fun to see. It comes on this plastic base. There's two prongs that fit up between the trucks that hold it in place. But I think this is part of why, you talked about how I've not seen any of these damaged or anything. That, boy, however you've got the shipping thing is really nice. Yeah, see those, and it's got a little.
And then
the clear plastic clamshell that it fits into, it's just very solidly protected for transit, and we've had literally zero damage in shipment, which is unheard of in the HO model
absolutely market. Yeah, and that's a great. It's a good display thing too.
Yeah.
And if you buy one of these and you're not a regular operator or something, that's awesome. It basically comes with its own base to set it on your desk or mantle or shelf. But wow.
And just so everyone knows, the Southern Pacific came in. We sold out very quickly. We still have some DCC ready units, but very few. This was very, very popular, very hot. So the only reason why you're seeing this one, it's because it's a DCC ready version. I'm pretty sure we're all sold out on the DCC and sound, and we went through tons and tons of them. Already on the Rio Grande unit, Pico is sold out on some numbers, but we still have some available. But make sure you grab them, because these just came in like a month or two ago, and they're wonderful units. They're going out quick, beautiful, and just
it's actually
awesome scheme.
The Pico way of doing things, that we actually try to have a model in stock for a while, hopefully for at least 6 months or a year. We don't like it to just sell out overnight like the SPs did, but we just could not believe the response on the SPs and the Rio Grandes also. So we're down to 2 road numbers and only in sound versions, but I think Train World has a little bit better selection than we do right now. But that's dwindling fast too.
So if you're interested in these KMs, please head to trainworld.com. We still have some available, and grab it while you can, because some people were disappointed on the Southern Pacific. All the sound versions sold out quickly. We still have some DCC ready versions, but very few. So great units.
And by the way, if you want to buy those DCC ready ones, the decoder installation is super easy. It plugs in. The speaker requires 2 little wires to be soldered. The Pico decoder that we offer separately is the way to get the proper KM sounds. Nobody else is going to give you that. These are the authentic dual Maybach diesel motor sounds, and all of the other ancillary fans and all the other stuff. Cab chatter from the Central Valley of California in the early 1960s. You can even hear them talking about train numbers. There were some train numbers that the KMs pulled. So this is authentic in every respect. So I highly recommend that. If you're still looking for an SP, you can get that.
Very neat. And for the HO and G scale people out there, we're going to do a raffle. We're going to raffle off HO collector. Tony Cooks actually does this nice magazine. I actually subscribe to it too. You never know what you're going to find in this stuff. And they actually had a old school KM in it, and just the, you know, if you go back to the 80s or 70s and compare the difference, it's just night and day.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just unbelievable to see, you know, how far technology has come. So it's so futuristic, advanced. It looks like the real thing. It's just unbelievable. But we'll raffle off this magazine as well as some Pico brochures and flyers and Train World hat. So you'll get a nice grab bag of items. So put in the chat hashtag Pico MRN, and we'll pick a winner. Put the state you're from. So hashtag Pico MRN and the state you're from, and we'll pick out a winner for some nice grab bag of articles, brochures, and giveaways, stuff like that. And without further ado, we'll also talk about some G-scale stuff.
All right. Okay. You don't have any of those on your desk there, but we'll show you a few things. We just got a container in Friday, so we've got some brand new items that literally just arrived and just got, and they're on the way to Train World today. So you will have them very shortly. The latest in our great series of 25-ton diesels that are completely battery powered, no track power at all, and those are powered by 6 AAA batteries that go in a little clip that fits in the front of the engine hood. You pop that into place, and the front of the engine hood snaps back into place, and there's a little switch underneath the left side of the cab. And there's a volume control switch if you put your finger through on the cab ceiling. So it'll go completely off, and then it steps up. And we've got all the functions of a real loco. That is TCS digital sound. We developed that in conjunction with them, and it's kind of a first in the industry that it works with the receiver for the RC control. And we can get the bell going. We can blow the horn and get our locomotive moving. Oh, we're not going to move too far.
That's so neat that you can run it with that the power's in the locomotive. So yes. Inside, outside, however you set up the track, you don't have to worry about power or setting all that up. And Jonathan, show them what runs it. I love this. I don't know why, but I think this is so cool. The fob,
the little keychain, it's like a car remote. The up arrow button is more forwards, and the down arrow button is more reverse. And then you got the bell and the horn buttons. So those are the things that people really want to control. Everybody wants the remote. Want to be able to ring the bell, blow the horn, and run your train. So you got all the basics. It's got a ton of additional automatic sounds that are built into it. You'll hear the air compressor, and the brakes will squeal as you come to a stop, and all kinds of other sounds that TCS packed into that decoder that's in that loco. So
the one complaint I have on the fob, though, Jonathan, I can't get my Lincoln to ring the bell or honk the horn. I go out there and I hit it. And can you fix that? Can you make that work? Because I want to have the horn and bell on my car, and it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, we'll get the engineers on that just for you.
That is such a neat little, and the price on those is just amazing. And there's a handful of different versions. There's the track cleaner one, which is awesome. I think you still have the regular powered one, and that's what Pensy is the road name of this one new one here that you're showing.
What we call the clean. This is Pensy here, yeah, yeah, and a whole list of other. We've got U.S. Army. We've got the Knoxville Locomotive Works Thumper, which actually uses the 25-tonner to shuffle around in their locomotive rebuilding shops. Big locos. We've got now 2 paint schemes in Pensy and Santa Fe, War Bonnet. Rio Grande was new recently. White Pass and Yukon, Union Pacific. What am I leaving out? And then the Clean Machine Green, which you just turn the switch on and let it run. And then the Clean Machine RC that has the same control system so that you can clean your tracks for your track-powered trains to run smoothly. And people can't believe that Clean Machine actually works. It's got spring-loaded pads between the wheels that actually do clean the rails. They're a fiberglass mesh pad that cleans the rails very effectively. Just put it on and let it run around until the track's clean, and it works. So.
And you guys make such fantastic track, from the starter sets on up to all the individual things that you offer in G scale. That track is just bulletproof. It's wonderful stuff.
Yeah, there are differences in the materials from some other brands that have been on the market. These are made to last, and when you start with a top quality material like the brass rail, pure brass stays clean longer and is a better conductor. So, go with quality. You'll never regret that decision. That's always true. So, yeah.
And John, Joseph had a good question. Can you run the battery engine on electrical powered track at the same time with electrical engines?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this track is an electrically powered track, and we can run it in just a minute here. If the operator is capable of running 2 trains at once, that's the main problem. But it's completely isolated from the rails. Even though it has metal wheels, they're not picking up any power. So you can run it anywhere. You can run it on a live electric track. You can run it across the floor in the kitchen, wherever you want.
Wow.
So we actually ran one down the hallway at Kalmbach when we visited them. So
wow.
Maybe we'll come to your house and then run one down the hallway in your house, Tony.
Absolutely. Do I see one of the new? Is that 2-bay hopper? One of the artwork on these is just mind blowing. Is this one of the new World War II ones?
That's the latest in the Warbird series, and not that we're quite out of planes yet, but we've done most of the really popular ones. So this is the consolidated B-24 Liberator. And for me, that's got a special connection because my dad came to San Diego in World War II to be a draftsman in the consolidated Convair airplane factory. So that's got a special connection because B-24s were something made in San Diego. And it's also the most produced bomber of World War II. That did the daily duty all over the place in every theater. So those things were just incredible. And the guys that flew those, even more incredible. We call it the greatest generation. So it's been fun working on this series of vintage warbirds, as we call them, just to bring you something just cool to commemorate that. So, but one of them's not good by itself. You need a whole train of all the different ones that we've made.
It's a fun collector set, and boy, the artwork, all your artwork is just, it's really nicely done, but I think those are a lot of fun. That's a neat set.
And
our in-house graphics department is incredible, really creative and just top quality stuff. So yeah.
And John, I don't know, Model Eisenbahn TV is asking, but it's in German, so I don't speak it. I'm not sure if you could decipher. Can lock on sea Gleis run? I'm not sure if.
That's a good question about the KMs.
Okay.
These do have very fine RP25 wheel flanges, but C-Track, Markland C-Track should be fine. That's
okay,
more of
interesting.
I think it's code 100, but it's a pretty normal rail profile, so there shouldn't be any problems. Of course, we have offered the 3-rail versions in the SPs. We did not offer it in America in the Rio Grandes. Just there were not that many customers for it, but in Europe they actually have the 3-rail versions for their market. So it's just in America, it's just kind of a question nobody's asking. So
yeah.
Jonathan, a couple questions I had. I know that you guys maybe teased the N-scale KM at Amherst or one of the shows in the last year. I've had questions on that, and then I've had guys asking me on future runs, and I know we talked about this once offline, because these went through so many changes because they were so experimental. I've had guys asking, will there be any later versions? Or I know, like, Bob Zink did that fantastic book, and I know he helped you with it. For the Southern Pacific Historical Society, there's a second edition of his Krauss-Maffei book, and it is an absolute must-have. I was just talking to Bob last week on a couple of questions I had on the rear grand paint, and he's a great guy, knows all this stuff. So look that book up if you're into these. But I had a question on there's pictures of these like as demonstrators where they say Krauss-Maffei on the side. Is there anything different available in Europe that a collector would want, or could maybe be seen here at some point as a limited edition?
Right now, Europe is getting the same models that we're getting. In fact, just a little later because their containers take a little longer. But we have tooled up for just about every possible conceivable variation. And
wow,
like you mentioned, these were considered to be prototypes, and both SP and Rio Grande treated them as such, and they almost right off the boat they started modifying them, and in their short but eventful lives there were tons of modifications made, and even before they came to America, they did testing, like you mentioned, the ones lettered Krauss-Maffei. There was one SP and one Rio Grande decorated loco that traveled. They went to the Semmering Pass in Austria, which is not too far from Krauss-Maffei in Munich, and that's like their version of Tehachapi or Cajon or Horseshoe Curve. Just incredible grades to really put the locos to the test. And those looked very different. They had to run on German and Austrian rails, so they had to have their buffers, not American couplers. So there was a big buffer beam mounted on the loco. They had to have all kinds of special lights on them to comply with European lighting regulations. And clearances are really tight in Europe, so they had to have things like the handrails on the side of the loco removed for those tests because they didn't fit the clearances otherwise.
Wow.
So that's even a pre-delivery modification. And then both railroads started modifying them almost immediately, and you will see exciting things coming. Can't tell you what. We got to keep you in suspense a little longer. But
that's awesome. That's awesome to hear, because that's been a kind of a constant question. Like, the Rio Grandes, immediately they cut panels down in the silver part, the lower sides for air intake, and then put ductwork over the side to try to bring air up from below. So all sorts of stuff. Well, good. Ken, I've got more trains I'm going to need to buy, I'm afraid.
Tony's never going to let these KMs down. He's just going to keep on going with the KMs. He wants everything.
Just have your paycheck direct deposited to Train World's account.
That is an idea. An idea.
And Steve wants a KM camera car. That'd be interesting.
That's a loco based on the later, what were called the series units. The SP went back to Krauss-Maffei and had locos that looked more like a conventional SD40 or whatever but still uniquely German looking, but totally different logo. We can't even reuse the trucks. We could reuse the couplers, I think, and that's about it. Maybe the wheels. So people do ask about that. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. And for you folks that are interested in seeing this in scale, now's a good time. Barrage the social media, whatever you want to do, make your wants known if you really are interested in it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that would be unique.
That would be.
Yeah.
What about
that's
G
cool.
scale, Jonathan? Make me a G scale one.
That would be a monster. Yeah, that would be
awesome.
But forget about G scale. Tony Cook wants a live scale so he can ride it on his backyard.
No. Yeah, I'll stop at G.
I'd love to see the real thing. You know, Bob was actually a kid when the real KMs were running around Central California, and yeah, his book is. I've read a lot of train books over the years, and this is not just because I'm biased, because it's by my friend Bob or because it's about KMs. It's the best written train book I've ever read. It's creative, and there's humor in it, and there's amazing detail, and it tells the story of how these were developed, what the goals were, and why it ultimately didn't work in the American market, really, which was a difference of cultures. And it tells, a little bit about what you were saying, that, this prompted other American locomotive makers to get into the act of higher horsepower, and some even jumped into the hydraulic market for a little while.
Yeah, it's such a great. It's one of those books when you finish it, it's like, boy, I wish Bob would do a book for everything. I'd buy F unit books, U-boat books, 78. I mean,
every train book.
It's just amazing. Yeah, so thoroughly nicely done. And again, that's Southern Pacific Historical and Technical Society, but regular booksellers, hobby shops carry the book as well, and there's a second edition out.
Yep, and it's expanded. It's got more than just pictures of the Pico models. It's got more material because Bob's just
there's about 75, 80 more pages and tons of more pictures. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I think we were on G scale.
Yeah. We were. We got. That's my fault. That's my fault. Okay. All right. We'll stick to the big stuff.
So, some G scale questions. A lot of people like the Rio Grande paint schemes in G scale. Narrow gauge, so they want more of that.
Okay.
So Ted's looking for the Rio Grande.
We did just deliver a Rio Grande 25 tonner with the battery RC and sound, and that's just a sharp looking little loco in the black and orange. And we delivered a new Mogul in Bumblebee paint scheme this year. So we love Rio Grande too. You can rest assured. I think there was some guy in Lynbrook, New York, who said, "Yellow, who's going to buy those yellow passenger cars?"
Well, they light up every layout. That's for sure.
Somehow when you see it out in the garden, it just works. So.
That's right. And TS is asking, would you recommend this battery and fob for a G-scale starter project?
Yes, we actually sell the RC receiver in 2 different versions as a kit with the little pocket remote, so you can install that, and tons of people are doing that in your own locos. We've made it simple. The directions are clear. They show you the diagrams. This is the power to the motor. This is the and you can put power into that from a battery or from constant track voltage if you want to do that. So there's flexibility built into those, and it's good enough to give the remote to your grandkids, which means it's also simple enough for grandpa to use. Having spent years dealing with customers we've got a cool digital system. It works great, but it's got about 15 too many buttons on it. So this only has 4, and just the basics, and is really, when you're out in the garden, this is what you need. It works great. So even had a couple. Oh, go
The
ahead.
regular system though is easy too. Ken, I've got pictures of that. As far if you think it's tough, here's the review from December's Model Railroad News, and you can see the
Ah,
back of the
yes. Thank you.
transformer and the front, and there's nothing to it. You see the color coded buttons on the back. The wiring goes into that, and there's even a lid, as you can see, comes down over the throttle, so you can set the speed, put that down, and then you don't have to worry about getting knocked or anything done. So whether it's around the tree or in the backyard. This is that base system. It's got that fantastic loop of track with it, the little steam locomotive, the 2-bay hopper, and the caboose. This is a fantastic starter set, and it came out in the last couple months. I think you've got this in stock, don't you, Ken?
Yes. Well, the new one.
We've got a number of starter sets that come with the RC control, and in that case, it's control of the track power. So you've got the convenience of the remote. You can walk around. You don't have to reach way back under the Christmas tree up against the wall to reach the throttle knob. Although the Union Pacific set has the conventional, we went for a more economical solution for that one. That's the conventional throttle knob. So we got choices for people. So you can buy a set with the RC, or you can buy a set with the analog throttle. So either way, I think that UP is going to be incredibly popular this Christmas. It's already doing well.
That's a great set, and the locomotive, I love the silver boiler face, the red cow catcher, and the top of the cab. I mean, lots of color. I mean, it really pops. It's a great looking model.
You get a lot for your money, that's for sure.
Yeah, and made in Germany. That's you can't find that these days. So there's a lot to be said for that. So.
And Ted has some nice words. He agrees Pico has great starter sets to get into G-scale. You also have a video on building a garden railroad. So that's pretty nice.
Ah, yes. You can see a much younger guy in that video. I don't know him anymore.
And I like your digital system. I think in this same issue of Model Railroad News, I review in fact, I got the controller. It's just out of my reach. But I've been playing with that DCC setup. I like it. It's very intuitive. It's a fun system to work with. So that's another thing to check out.
System for mainly for HO and N-scale, although at trade shows we run G-scale trains on it too. The Smart Control, it's got a funny name, Smart Control WLAN, Wireless Local Area Network. We spent all our money on development, and we didn't have anything for marketing to get a good name for it. But the name is a mouthful, but the product is great. It is simple to use. And a lot of digital systems out there are not so intuitive. You got to spend a lot of time thumbing through the manual. This is pretty easy to use. So a great starter system.
Yes, it is. And that's what you basically put the locomotive on the track, and the thing came up and said, you have a new locomotive, and showed it in the menu. And you just hit the button and go. None of that, okay, what is it? And am I doing the right thing? It surprised me. Like, oh, it's already got it. Cool.
And TS, it seems like you're new to the hobby because based off your starter set question, if you want to send us an email tomorrow, we want to give you the raffle because I saw that you put in the code word for the raffle. So we'd like to select you for the raffle winner so we could send you off HO collector, some Pico brochures, as well as a Train World hat. So send us an email tomorrow referencing this video and your detailed information. We want to help get you into the hobby, and we'll send you some stuff. So that's great. Hopefully we could get it to you. So just send us an email.
Cool. Got some great reading material and cool apparel. So awesome.
That's right. So
is that UP Mogul new, Jonathan?
Yes.
Oh,
I was going to get this other stuff out of the way first, but let me finish up here first. But we got so many new items. So this is a new Union Pacific hopper. Everybody loves the red, white, and blue shield logo. This one comes with the cold load. And those are a lightweight material, so you can still pull plenty of cars. And they're very realistic looking. You can pop the load out of there and fill it up with whatever you want. And then another neat new car. I really like this one. Is a Santa Fe flat car with 3 redwood logs. You see little logs as a load, but we live out west here, so in the California redwoods. So we imagined that those would be being transported somewhere on a flat car, and it's really neat with the chain detail. And the logs are they're resin, but they're a lightweight material, so the car's not too heavy. And there are 3 of them, and they're beautifully detailed. Just they're cast and then they're hand finished in a multi-step process. So these look. You'd be hard pressed to make more realistic looking logs yourself, even with real tree trunks or something, branches. So I think it's pretty cool.
If anyone's been to California, there's a place called Muirwoods National Monument Park, and is it the redwoods? The trees are just unbelievable, and it's exactly what this flat car is pulling, just gigantic logs, and it's unbelievable. It's really an amazement beauty. It was just unbelievable. So if you're in California, Muirwoods National Monument Park, it was just it's sensational. It's just one of the wonders of the world, and these trees are just gorgeous. So having this flat car is like perfect, right up Pico's alley in California.
And no actual great sequoias were harmed in the making of this car. So
that's good. Environmental friendly.
Yes. So yes, Tony asked about the new Union Pacific Mini Mogul, and that is a brand new. We've done a number of Union Pacific locos because they just keep selling. And again, our graphics department just does an incredible job making those things look beautifully sharp. This is a more economical loco without sound, without smoke. You can add those things though. You still got a great running Pico mechanism, and you can add either our analog or digital sound. There's a video on our YouTube channel showing you just walking right through the steps of doing that. It's not difficult. So you can add those things, and I'm sure Train World will be glad to sell you the whole setup to add those things, the smoke as well. And that gives you great working 5-volt smoke unit that works even when the train's running slow. So you can be set up for operation on DC or digital. But this is a great start. You got to start with something that's good and runs smoothly. So we'll get that out of the way, though, because that's the last of the non-Christmas new items. So
it's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah. So if we're ready to move along, I might have to, at the end of the cars here, I might have to ask you guys to talk, and there's one more item that I didn't get here on the table, but we'll get it. So starting off on the Christmas items that have just arrived, you were showing that little flyer earlier, Ken.
Yeah.
The autumn new items flyer. We've got a ton of Christmas items and a ton of Christmas new items this year. So those are all available at Train World already, and some of them are getting low in stock. So there are three.
I'm just going to share my screen real quick because it's hard to see the detailing on these cars, and the graphics are just unbelievable. You can't really see that well on the camera, but in this picture it really shows up. It's just unbelievable, the graphics. They really did a great job. Just gorgeous.
Keep talking, Kim.
So they came out. It looks like 2 coaches. One has they both have gingerbread cookies. So it looks like gingerbread winter figurines.
Gingerbread men and women. That's the theme for these all 3 cars. So they go together nicely. And there's all kinds of playful scenes. When you start studying the cars, you're going to be amazed and amused by the
I don't think anyone's ever done gingerbread cookies, but it's like it's synonymous with Christmas. And quite honestly, Jonathan, I'm not going to tell everybody your secret there, but he does make a mean ginger snap cookie, which I never heard of a ginger snap, but
Really?
apparently, yeah,
Oh yeah.
I guess it may be a German thing, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's unbelievable. But Jonathan, if you're really nice and pay a high price, he may ship you out one, but they're very costly. So, but he's a very good chef or baker, I guess.
All you have to do is buy more Pico trains than Kenny does, and
There you go. And Jonathan he comes with the apron and with his rolling pin, and he'll bake it right for you. He may hit you with the baking pin, but it's all good. But
I know some of your employees were practically fighting over them last year, so I hope everybody's recovered and ready for some more.
well, I didn't want to tell everybody that our employees got them too, but yes, they weren't supposed to. But once the ginger snaps come out, everybody they smell it, and it's just unbelievable. So these ginger cookie cars are really cool, just very Christmas orientated and really nice. And you see there, you can make a beautiful set, and they go along with your other Christmas cars as well.
Yeah, they make great companions. We've had Christmas passenger cars before. Those were a scene of like the North Pole Toy Factory. And so we wanted to do something a little different, but this is the North Pole Bakery Shop, making gingerbread men. So
that's right.
And not only are the two passenger cars different, the coaches, the combine car has different artwork because of the door on one end has different artwork on both sides of the car. So you're getting a kind of a 2-for-1 deal with that.
And the gingerbread man or the gingerbread whoever's in the cup of hot cocoa, they don't look happy.
You can back in a hot tub. It's a gingerbread.
I hope no gingerbread personnel were harmed in the art making session.
And for equal time, I think we have some gingerbread women as well. So
very nice, very nice.
So next up, we've done a ton of auto transports, flat cars with vehicles on them, and we've done a bunch of them in Christmas themes, and we always try to come up with something new and creative. And this is takes maybe somebody of your father's generation, Ken, who remembers being young and having a VW Beetle and trying to get the Christmas tree home, and you picked out a tree that was way too big for the car. So that's why.
And I want to say this, John. Every year it seems like you kind of do one of these flats with the vehicles, and they sell out every year. It's the best-selling G-scale car that Pico makes, and it's a Christmas orientated. And sometimes they make different vehicles, but the vehicles are beautiful vehicles, and it's a great car for the money. And this car, we had some debate in the beginning because it was called the O Tannenbaum Transport. And I had no idea what O Tannenbaum meant, but apparently everybody knows that it's a famous song. I had no idea.
Oh, Tannenbaum,
oh, Tannenbaum. Yeah. My gosh, ginger snaps and oh, wow.
So now Tony's making into a music sound car, and it comes with Tony singing "Oh Tannenbaum" with Jonathan singing along. But this is gorgeous. A VW, and VW Bugs is like Tony.
That's classic.
In all scales, VW Bugs is like the best-selling car. I don't know why, but it's so popular.
It's popular, yes. And again, that's so eye-catching. The red car, the Christmas tree on top.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic one.
Yeah.
If the person isn't even a train person, or if they're a car person, that's a fun gift to have a flat car with that delivered a Christmas tree. Is so neat. Really, really nicely done, Jonathan.
That's a high-quality die-cast, openable doors and hoods. And we mounted on the car properly with the wheel chocks and everything, so it's well done. It's not just a car thrown on a flat car. And yeah, I just we try to come up with something creative that brings back fond memories. I don't know. Ask your father if he drove a VW when he was a young guy.
Well, Tony probably did.
Oh no!
No?
I'm not quite. Well, I guess maybe no, but no, I did not. I love the white walls. I like the white walls on the tires too. That's cool.
And just so you know, if you don't pre-order, it's very important because today we're out of stock. Oh, well, no, we just got in from our Long Island store today, but we were out of stock today. We got one in. I had to order more from Jonathan, so we're selling very quickly on this item already. So we constantly have to keep on reordering. This is very popular. It came in. We were out of stock for a couple of days. Then we transported the one we had in a Long Island store to Brooklyn, so it's up listed on our site again. But they're going out very quickly, and we got more on order. So make sure you get them in. But really nice car, and tons of.
I think Train World probably still has some of the Christmas ornament transport, a pickup truck carrying a bag of Christmas ornaments, and then the Hawaiian Christmas transport. You may still have that one as well with the surfboards and the convertible.
That was really. I'd forgotten about that one. Yeah, that was a really awesome one, John. Yeah. It's always just so creative, Ken. The stuff they do it's fun stuff.
That's right, and they always sell very well each year. Just really great stuff. And quite honestly, I think we're sold out of the other two. The pickup truck we're sold out on. We do have the Hawaiian transport. This is actually a pretty cool one too. Let me share this one while we're on the topics of cars. But this actually comes with the Hawaiian surfboards. Yeah. How cool is that? Tony, what kind of car is that?
It's a little Ranchero on the Falcon platform. The car pickup truck of Ford kind of moved to different bodies. And that was one of its smaller incarnations. But yeah, a neat little Falcon Ranchero with surfboards in the back. Wow.
And I was going to say it looks like an El Camino.
Close. That'd be the Chevy version. So we'll give you half credit on that. Yeah.
Very cool. And with the surfboards, just really neat Hawaiian Christmas transport. So that's neat. And actually Hawaii has a railroad out there. They got a little short line.
Yeah. Kaanapali and Pacific.
Okay, there you go. But very, very neat, Tony. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's pretty cool. So it is realistic that they do have some trains out there in Hawaii.
That's Santa's vehicle for the off season, You gotta get out.
His vacation vehicle.
So,
all right.
So next thing, the latest in our series of boxcars and reefers based on the old poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." So this one's a bundle of toys was slung on his back. I had to look at the side of the car to remember. We've done so many of them. We're running out of lines in the poem, but we still got a few more to go. And again, completely original artwork done by our graphics department. Nobody else can do stuff like this. So I think it's pretty cool. So people just have to have that car every year after year, the latest one. So. And also some cool. Another cool Christmas scene, snowmen and penguins playing in I don't know, wherever that is. I don't know, somewhere near the North Pole on our Christmas caboose. We keep making Christmas cabooses, and people must be running trains without cabooses because every time we make them, they just disappear. So.
Yeah. And here's the artwork on it. Just gorgeous artwork detail. And you got the little snowmen dancing around, and that's cute. What are the snowmen's name?
I'll have to ask a graphics department. Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
Definitely not Frosty because that's very heavily licensed.
and then you got little penguins there with little personalities. Each figure with the personality. Really cool.
And if
Really
I
nice
remember that little caboose, doesn't the indoors are sprung? I think, Jonathan, don't those open?
No, these are fixed. These are fixed.
Those
doors.
are fixed. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a great looking caboose. That's a dead-on scale model of a Rio Grande 505 series caboose, but it looks great in Christmas colors too.
And again, John, we just got these in, and already we're low quantity, only 2 left. I'm going to have to restock from Jonathan. Make
news
sure
of the day.
Make sure you grab it while you can. This is a gorgeous car, so really neat, with a lot of graphics and good artwork.
We got one more Christmas item here.
All right. Oh, Santa's going in his good old bag of tricks.
Yep.
Oh, neat.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Last year we brought out the Christmas station, the Christmas Town station. That's a new series, and a couple of town buildings. And those are bigger buildings. We've had some smaller, especially our built-up buildings that are really popular every year. But those are fairly small. This is bigger stuff. And this year we brought out the water tower to go with it. And the water tower, if you stand it up, is about as tall as this, almost as tall as this box. So it's
Jonathan,
pretty big.
It's not a water tower; it's a hot cocoa tower.
Okay.
And that is an awesome kit. I have built that, and as Jonathan says, it literally is almost like waist high when it's built. It is really big.
Wow.
Those are metal bands that go around. It's like a plastic body that goes together, and the bands, the ladders, the little spigot on the front. It's an amazing, and I think you can really put water in it, can't you, Jonathan? As I remember,
the liquid of your choice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we want to go on air promoting that. They may take us literally for a hot cocoa tower.
Okay. Not too hot, but or cider or whatever.
Yeah. Very cool. Beautiful.
So this is second with the Christmas station last year, and this one. So you basically at some point we're going to be able to build a whole G-scale Christmas town with all this stuff. Wow.
Yes. And the name is the Christmas Town series, and there were the 2-story brick buildings also that we made last year. Those in the station are available right there at Train World. I'm sure you got them in stock, and so you can add the water tower to them and start building a whole Christmas town. And we've got the what we call the Pleasant Town series of Christmas buildings that are also available, and so there's quite more than a dozen, I think, close to it, Pico Christmas buildings that you can start building your Christmas village with.
Wow.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Have you put your Christmas tree up yet, Jonathan?
No.
How about you, Ken? Do you have a Christmas tree up yet?
My wife started before Halloween.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't wait to get that Tannenbaum out. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I had dinner with my assistant editor and his wife and their new baby last weekend. And that was their talk was he wants to put up the Christmas tree. And she said, we got too much going on. We'll wait till after Thanksgiving. And he's like, no, the baby loves looking at lights and everything. We got to put I said, yeah, put the tree up.
Tony, do you have your tree up?
I have so many trains in the house, Ken. I don't know where I would put a tree in the house.
And what would you select if you only had one scale to?
I know.
Or would you do a multi-scale?
Oh, you'd have to do loops. I would do loops. Start like and go
Tony's
out.
Got the tree with the trains in it.
It would have everything. Yeah. So
very cool. But I tell you, people. Go ahead.
This short season, you only get so many days between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and this is the short season this year. So get online at trainworld.com and get those Christmas items soon.
Yeah.
You've got less time than you think.
that's what's so great about Pico trains. G scale, they make so many Christmas items, and here, if you search by brand Pico, you could sort by trains Christmas, and just the selection of what they have is unbelievable. You can see the new arrivals, the Christmas transport cars, some hoppers, ore cars, box cars. So tons of items available, and they got really a great selection. We were going on, if you're just looking for Pico items, over 450 items, and you could sort by scale. They make HO and scale as well, so lots of different items. And so one thing I actually just found out recently, they also make great reverse units. I should have known this early from the start, but during Christmas time, everybody calls up about reverse units, and they really have a great job. We took a new picture, and it kind of all comes up out assembled and with the wires attached. So lots of great stuff that Pico makes available. And I also wanted to share, this was Model Railroad News back in the day with Southern Pacific. They had a great article. They did it on the Southern Pacific version, so that was really neat. Found that. And also, they have a great factory video showing the KMs, and it won't, I don't know if you could hear the sounds, but it actually shows Pico's factory, and look at all these parts. It's just unbelievable. And the factory is so clean and organized. And you hear about factories in overseas and everything. This factory is very clean. It's organized. It's just unbelievable, the amount of people working. And you know, when people think, oh, I could manufacture, or that's easy, or why don't you just change this one part, and you know, why can't you make them all hand assembled? Or this is just the amount of time, effort, unbelievable, and just so many people involved in this. It's just unbelievable. And these people at these and especially Pico's factory, these are experts. They're not employed, they're experts at manufacturing. You know, this is just precise and pristine. And I tell you, for me, just unwrapping an item out of a box, it's not going to look pristine. They have to actually make these models to make each one precise and you know, specific. It's just unbelievable.
That's so neat to see how they do the masking and the paint work. That it's wild how that I can't believe that works, because you know, when we custom paint things individually, use all the masking tape and all that, and those kind of metal masks that are cut out, and look at that, they just hold the model up, spray it, and it's like, wow, there really is such an intricate process to all this.
Yeah, and this is a tiny portion of the steps, just a little bit of, not even all of the decoration steps. So Rene shot that video while he was there at the factory a little while back. Yeah, there was one of the videos that he made of production in a factory where the supervisor at the end of the production line, he was going to step in and pack up a locomotive, and he started to do it, and finally the lady that normally does it kind of pushed him aside. Yeah, let me show you how it's done.
That's great.
There is a skill to every step of the process, and you know, Pico's factory is different than other factories. I will say that all day long. We keep almost all of our workers. You know, every year they have Chinese New Year at the beginning of the year, and factories will frequently lose 30 or 40% of their workers that go home to visit their family and just never come back at the end of Chinese New Year break. They go away for a month and just don't come back. Pico, we keep our employees because we treat them well. We pay them more than other factories do. We have beautiful dormitories for those who don't have their own apartments to live in. Our own employee cafeteria. It's Chinese food every day, but you know.
Wow.
But you know, those are all keys, and we've got so many employees at Pico China, just like in Pico in Sonneberg, Germany. that have been there for so many years. We've got some employees now that are pushing a couple decades at the factory. And you just can't replace that experience. You know, other people have to deal with retraining 30 or 40% of their workforce every spring. Our workforce comes back from break and they're ready to go. They know what to do because they've got the experience. So little differences, things that I'm happy to talk proudly about.
Yeah, I tell you, if I had to work on an HO engine, it looked like it come back in pieces. I don't know how these factory workers just make it so pristine. It's unbelievable.
Experience. They practice. They got practice on thousands and thousands and thousands of KM. So keep those ideas coming.
And you got to tell Rene, Tony and I want the same eyeglass person to work on our eyeglasses. We need some cool eyeglasses like those, I tell you.
He gets a new pair every year. I've been with him to his eye doctor that designs and produces them. They're completely custom made, and they always have some sort of Pico logo and eye-catching thing. Some of them have been just absolutely outlandish, crazy. He wears them well, and always gets attention wherever he goes. So he's a walking advertisement for Pico.
Wow. I got to see if I could get in contact with his guy. That would be awesome. That is neat. Beautiful. Really cool.
I think Train World Blue frames are what you need.
Yeah.
That look good. Yeah.
I think he's got some in blue. Yeah.
I don't know if my wife would let me home, but they would look cool. I'd definitely wear them. Very neat. Very neat. Cool stuff. Wow, lots to cover, huh?
And we're about 6 weeks from Christmas. So if you've not gotten your Christmas stuff set up, you haven't planned, or you're doing this, trainworld.com, get over there, start looking and deciding what you're doing, because it's sneaking up on us fast.
That's right. Yeah. And Tony, you're doing the review on the Rio Grande, or you have something come out?
The December Model Railroad News has the G scale starter set, and then the KM is going to be it's the first part, I think maybe January's edition. I don't have it in front of me to remember, and I'm going to go. It's kind of the horsepower thing. I've got that, and I have the ST45s that they bought later. And
how did they get your magazine for that?
You can go to shop.whiteriverproductions.com, and you can find out more information there, whether it's through the digital app or get a print copy of it as well. It comes out monthly, 100 pages, and loaded with new products and reviews of new things too.
That's great to hear.
My favorite model train magazine, I have to say, and it's all about products. And I love that the reviews are written in a way that is enthusiastic, but informs people about everything they need to know about a model. So you come away from the article, a review of something, and wow, I like that. I learned a lot about that. Maybe I need that model. So I like that.
I've got a great group of guys, and we all have that kind of enthusiasm, and it's fun to dive in and do that and talk about it. So it comes through in print.
Tony doesn't sleep. He truly puts his heart into this hobby, and it tells with all his magazines and publishments and edits. It's just unbelievable. He really does a great job for the entire industry. It's just great stuff that he does. But great stuff, John. Anything else you want to cover for Pico or talk about, or upcoming?
Well, we're now less than 50 days from new product news being put out there. So stay tuned to pico-america.com for exciting stuff to come in all scales. So that'll be breaking right at New Year's. So
that'll be the new color catalog, and you'll have that available in download as well, Jonathan?
Yes, we do a full catalog for HO and G scale every other year. So this year is one where there's just a new items flyer, but you can download the digital version of the full catalog, which is completely new. And yeah, you can also order those from us or Train World. If you're a good little boy or girl, look for one of those in your stocking.
That's right. Very neat. So we're excited for that. And again, if you're looking for trains this Christmas season, Pico has tons of Christmas trains available for your G scale, the perfect size to put it around the tree. And they really do some great graphics on these. So all different cars available at trainworld.com. Or if you're just looking for Pico in general, we have over 450 items for you for Pico, either G scale, HO, N scale. You could easily sort by one of these many filters that we have to make it nice and easy for you and everybody out there. And you could also, while we're talking about Christmas time, we do have a wish list. So if you want to send it to your loved one, you're more than welcome to. But we want to thank everyone out there for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We want to thank Pico, Jonathan Metter, and Dr. Rene Wilfer for spending their time, and especially Rene. He's on the red eye flight, so he's probably getting some good shut eye. And Tony Cook from Model Railroad News, HO Collector, all your conglomerate publications. I can't keep up with you, Tony.
It's fun stuff, and we got our big Christmas show coming up too. We're going to come back around in I've forgotten the date again. I think I forgot next week. Oh, next week.
Next week we're going to do an all scale Christmas show. We're going to talk about G scale, O scale, HO, N scale. So all fun Christmas. We haven't even started promotion, but we'll get there sometime this week and let everybody out there know. So we'll be back at it again.
Be sure, if you're in the Milwaukee area in about a week and a half, stop by the Pico booth at Train Fest, which is in a new location in downtown Milwaukee. One of the best shows of the year, and we will have a crew of people there. And they get to go there and enjoy the nice, cool weather, and I'll stay here in San Diego.
That sounds fair. I'm saying no wonder why he's promoting that. All right. Well, great to hear. Thank you, everyone, so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Pico. Thank you, Tony. And have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.